Now let me just first thank you all for taking a few moments to see just how much more powerful vocabulary Synapse is than other vocabulary systems. See, most vocabulary systems will teach you vocabulary. Vocabulary Synapse will actually force your mind to learn it, no matter what your level is. If you're a really advanced student, it's going to force your mind to incorporate new words much faster than any other system. If you're a student who struggles a lot with vocabulary, it's going to absolutely force your mind to learn those words no matter what. And we're going to illustrate that right now. So, no matter what your level is, for now, I want you to imagine that you are a student. Whether you're a parent or a student, no matter what level you're at, I want you to imagine that you are a student who hates vocabulary and who's really bad at vocabulary, who just doesn't like vocabulary at all. Okay, so let's go ahead and decide whether, we have the version that's for older kids, we have the version that's for younger kids. Go ahead and pick the censored version that's for younger kids. Censored version is not any easier, we just remove some of the words that are a little bit more appropriate for an older audience. And we'll go ahead and pick level 1. I want to show you how vocabulary Synapse is actually going to force your brain to learn every single word no matter what your level. So let's just say that you have just no interest in learning this. You don't even want to do this. So what do? You just do this. You just click at random. And you can go on to the next thing. Look, I clicked at random and just randomly I'm getting the right answer just by clicking enough times. Well, look what that does to the score. My score right now, because I was doing that, is actually -5. Now, if you're using this right, here's what you would tell a student, whether you're telling this to yourself, setting up your own goals, or if you're a parent or teacher giving instructions to a student, you would say, you're finished when your score is 20, or when your score is 100, or for more advanced kids, even when your score is 200. So the idea is, in order to get to the target, you can't just click at random. You can't just, assume, you can't just kind of skip over questions. Now, the other thing to realize about that is this. Every time you get a question wrong, the system records that, and it's going to show you that question again and again and again and again until you start to get it right. It's going to actually use a process where the intervals will actually increase. So, maybe after you've been doing this for a few minutes, you might be seeing that word that you got wrong every say 20 seconds. After another period of time, there's gonna be like longer pauses. What that's actually doing is it's forcing those words to not just be in your short-term memory, but actually to go into your long memory. And that's a principle that language learning has used for a long time. Vocabulary Synapse incorporates that in a particularly effective way. The other thing to recognize is this. If you get a word, let's say you almost know what a word means. Let's say you're like, I know that it's one of these two, and you guess, and then you realize, okay, it's benign. That's different than if you just have no idea whatsoever, if you're just guessing at random. Now, see how over there it just took me 3 guesses to get the right answer? Now, vocabulary Synapse is going to treat that completely differently from when if it just took me one chance to get the answer right. In fact, if you get the answer wrong 3 times before getting it right, there's a 3 times as high chance of you getting that word than if you just gotten it wrong once. So not only is it forcing you to learn every word, and not only is it recording every single word that you get wrong, is actually creating a bias in that the words that you get wrong more, the words that you get more wrong, you're going to be asked more often. So it's really going to hit it's really going to target those weak spots. Whatever word that you have the most difficulty with, and we all have some words that just somehow don't stick in our brain, whether you're motivated or unmotivated, good at vocabulary, bad at vocabulary, doesn't really matter. There's some words that are going to not stick. Vocabulary Synapse is going to make those words stick, no matter what, because it's going to ask you them again and again. And as I mentioned before, it's going to use that principle of graduated intervals, which means the intervals between the times you're asked the words are going to gradually increase, forcing into your long-term memory. So what we see over here is that it's forcing even the most unwilling student, as long as you use the score, as long as you tell the student, you're finished when you get to 10 points, when you get to 20 points, as long as you use the score, it's forcing